your knees apart and your toes together. If you're seated on the chair, you can do the same, knees apart at least, feet on the ground. And then we're going to spread out, spread forward. Pinky, you got to go. Spread forward and place your third eye onto a blanket or to the mat there. Stretch your arms forward as well. So you can find as much length in your spine. That's what this is about, is that lengthening of the spine. It's the beginning to open up our hips. It's beginning to feel our breath in our belly, between our legs, between our thighs as we breathe deeply and completely here. This also is allowing us just to come in contact, closer contact with the earth, right? And I have my hands, fingers open, palms pressing down just a bit, not intensely, but enough that I feel that energy coming into the rest of my arms from my palms connected. So my elbows are straight. And let's take a few more breaths here, seeing if we can relax into it, into a position that, you know, maybe we haven't been into for a while. If you have any issues with knees here, you can take and sit upon a block between your feet and onto your hips. You can also take a blanket and fold it underneath your hips, between your hips and your heels. All right, all of these are worth trying sometime just to see how that feels. And then I want you to take your hands closer together, put them into prayer, cross your thumbs so your biceps come close to your ears here. Okay, forehead still on the ground. We're not pressing real deeply there, okay, because we don't want a lot into the neck. But go ahead and bend your elbows and take the base of your hand to the base of your skull. And Josephine, if this is tough with doing it spread out on that second chair, you can lift yourself up and just do this seated straight up, okay? Just keep your spine straight. Idea right here is straight spine, open hips, and opening up the triceps. And continuing to know our breath. If you want and you feel like, oh, I'm not even feeling that in my triceps, you can move your elbows farther away from your shoulder area there, and you should feel it then. I know from what I did yesterday, my triceps were feeling it today. So I felt like I better keep doing something there and get any kind of that lactic acid buildup out. And then go ahead and let your hands come back towards the seat or the ground. And I'm going to slide my right hand towards my right knee. And I'm going to take it under my left armpit. Okay, so Josephine, your right shoulder and your right temple will be on that second chair. And the rest of us have that on our mats. And we're getting a nice little twist here, opening up the shoulder a bit. My left extended arm can stay there, or I can take it and wrap it around my waist and try to find my right thigh. And this come into a little bit of a bind here. But when you do that, if you choose to do that, please have the pressure on your shoulder, the weight on your shoulder, not on your head, not on your neck, okay? So only go there if you feel like you're safe to do that. And then releasing the left hand, if you did, place it behind you, stretch it forward and let your right arm come back out, oh yeah, and stretch back forward, tap your forehead, exhale. The left hand comes towards left knee, flip up that palm, send it under right armpit, left ear, left temple comes to chair or mat. And we reach out thoroughly and completely with our right arm. And that palm, the right palm is down, the left one is up. Okay, so we're finding balance in all of that. That right arm can come back and go behind your lower spine and kind of fingers tucking towards your upper left thigh there. But only again, if that's a place you want to go and you know that you are supported strongly on that left shoulder without putting any weight into your neck or head. Big inhale here. Exhale, releasing your right arm forward and your left arm comes back and out forward. Tap your forehead, exhale. And now we're going to go from down dog, exhale here, into hanging cobra. So that second chair, Josephine, what you'll do when we go into hanging cobra, you're just going to push into that second chair and stand out of the first chair, okay? Ready? Here we go. Exhale, we're here in our peaceful warrior. Bring yourself up, and if you're on the ground, the toes come up, you gaze up, hips come down. Josephine, you'll just be standing up and giving your heart to the heavens. We're giving our heart here as well. Gonna hold that just for a bit. And again, only gaze goes as far as your neck feels comfortable taking it, okay? When you breathe, you're gonna really feel that in the belly because the belly's so open right now. And now I'm gonna go ahead and roll back. Take my hips back to my heels, or Josephine, sit back in your chair. Okay, here I am. Forehead back. Peaceful warrior. And now I'm going to flow with that. Here's my exhale. Come on up. Inhale, toes together, hips down, or stand out of your chair. And take it on back. Exhale back, forehead down. Inhale up, onto knees or standing. Squeeze your glutes together. Come on back, exhale. Bring it on up. Opening up heart, opening up hips. And 2 more, please. And coming back, peaceful warrior. Walk your hands towards your shoulders. Bring your knees on in. And we're going to sit back on a block if you have it, or just seated in your chair, or you can sit back on your heels. Some of you may be able to do that nicely and not feel that you have any extra pressure on your knees. That's great. Please do that if so. Otherwise, place that block right there. See how I've got that? Or another option is to take a blanket and fold it. And you can do both. You can do the block and the blanket and place that between heels and hips. Ooh, it's nice and cozy. And I feel really upright here, okay? So if you're sitting in your chair, you can just sit in a mountain pose, okay? We're kind of seated in a hero's pose here. So we're gonna go ahead and raise our arms up, inhale. And we're gonna flow with this a bit, okay? Inhale up and exhale over. Take it on up, both arms. And take it over, exhale. Bring it up. Exhale over. Also, if you built yourself up on block and blanket and or blanket, you'll also have more of a range of coming down. You're up higher, so you have to work a little bit more. You have more opening to come over. Keep breathing and moving. We're going to take this more flowing today, okay? So it might be a little bit, not faster, but just more active, okay? Let's do 2 more sets. Still breathing though. So you don't have to rush your breath. And then coming back up. Exhale, hands down. Take your hand over to the right, place it on the ground. Take your left arm and let's just make some circles. Okay. Kind of going right in front of your knees and over, really big. Following with your gaze. That feels good. You should feel this in your waist here. Seated on the chair, just place one hand on the seat of the chair or on one of the legs of your chair. Let's reverse that. Keep going now in the opposite way. Feel this opening up your chest muscle here, along with your shoulder. You can get your upper body moving with it if you like. Two more. Really warming ourselves up. Let's take that arm down and let's take 4 circles back with our shoulders. We'll do the other side in a second. Feel that. Maybe feel a little unevenness too, because we just did one side and then 4 forward on the other side. And then let's place the left hand down and let's begin those circles coming around. And again, maybe moving your body a little bit with that as well. Keeping breath going. Exhale. Inhale. Meditative movement. And reverse. Feel that in the waist. You're feeling it in your chest. Definitely feeling it in the shoulder. I'm kind of letting my head go as well. 2 more. And float that hand down, exhale. And just let your shoulders be heavy. Pull them down away from your ears. Pull, pull, pull. And then make fists and squeeze. Squeeze those shoulders up. Inhale here. Exhale with an open breath. And open up your fingers wide and really release there. Back into fists. Squeeze those shoulders up. Squeeze and make fists. Everything is really muscle to bone. Inhale. Let it go. One more time. You guys make those noises. There's nobody around that's going to hear you. At least you're on mute for me and everybody else. So let's get up and squeeze. I know you have to hear me, but let's squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Tighten up biceps and triceps. Squeeze up. Inhale. And let it go. Good. Let's take our hands onto our shoulders and let's pull our elbows together and take them out. And when you take them out, I want you to take them back a bit, okay? So you feel that in this chest area, okay? Inhale. I'm exhaling through my mouth. You can keep it through your nose. The faster breathing pace, if you're doing it and don't need to, is often aligned more with like a Kundalini yoga, especially when we're breathing out of our mouth. Let's do 4 more. And let's take it down. Exhale. Woo. Go ahead and lift yourself off of your hips from heels. Come on to hands and knees. We're going to work ourselves up right here. And so what we're going to be doing, Josephine, are cat and cow. So you can do that quite easily seated in your chair. You're expert at that. So here we are. But the first cat and cows we're going to do are not going to include our head. All right, I want you just to include your pelvic tilt. So let the hips come up. We're going to keep our gaze kind of straight down. And then bring your tilt forward. Squeeze into your belly. Push down through your hands. And then come to neutral. Find that. Then go into the tilt. And see if you're able to tilt a little bit more, only because you're warming up. Come back into neutral, pull in your belly, and then bring that navel into the spine as you curl and curl your spine, right? But we're not tucking right now. Let's do a few more of those. Back into neutral, and then bring that tailbone up. Good dog is going to wag that tail there. And then neutral, and then into that tucking. I want you to feel this. I want you to really feel what's happening in your pelvic area. Let's do 2 more sets and just hold it for a breath or 2 when you get into the tilt or the tuck or the neutral. Because again, I just want you to sense this. I want you to sense where that is happening, okay? And you can be doing this seated as well without taking it into your head, okay? Now go ahead, including the neck and gaze and head if you'd like. Tilt down, look up. And now we're including that cervical spine in the opening and closing of the spine. Hold your breath here. I exhale when I come chin to chest. And I inhale. When my tail lifts, my gaze lifts, that's the uplifting inhaling. Exhale. Do a few more on your own. Nice flowing energy here, okay? Really gaze up and really tuck in. 2 more sets. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Sitting in your mountain or on your hands and knees here. So for us on our hands and knees, we're going to take our right arm and lift it up. For you, Josephine, if you're seated there, you're going to take your arm up, bicep by your ear. Okay? And let's just stretch the fingers long here. And then we're going to take our left foot back behind us. Those on the mat, Josephine, just take your left leg and stretch it out to the side. Okay, find your foot, ball on the foot, foot on the ball. Let's see, how can I say that better? Ball of the foot on the ground. Really stretching out here. Only if you like, you can start to pulse that leg that's stretched out off of the ground. So Josephine, you'd be pulsing a little sideways there. Or you can just have it planted a little bit forward. Pulsing. We're pulsing into our glute. We're balancing in this jog pointer position here. Strengthening, balancing, and placing foot down, bringing that left knee in, right hand down. Yeah, and from here, let's take circles with our waist. Josephine, just take full body circles as you're seated there. I hope you don't mind me using your name when I say that, because I just figure you're probably using the chair. I want you to know I'm still thinking about you, trying to send out those modifications for you. Hip circles, let's reverse before we go on to the other side. Again, I said this was going to be a little more active today. A lot of movement, less yin, more yang in our practice today. 2 more hip circles. I love happy hip circles. And back here. Finding ourselves, shoulders and arms lined up, and knees and hips lined up, and Josephine in a nice good mountain pose, and then lifting that left arm up so the biceps by the ear, and opening up those fingers nice and big and wide, and sliding the right foot out anywhere or anyhow feels right for you. We're on the mat, probably placing it straight back onto the ball of that back foot. Staying right there, or you can begin a pulse. Taking your right leg up, pulsing into whatever muscle groups you're feeling. Hip, maybe glute. Your left arm is strong, right? Your gaze is straight down. Few more pulses. Keep breathing. And foot stays down. Bring that right knee in, left hand down. And let's take a C shape here. Take and look over your right shoulder towards your right hip. Just taking a little C shape there and feeling that squeeze in the right side body, opening on the left side body. Head comes back forward. Take a look over left shoulder towards your left hip. Can do this seated or on the hands and knees, squeezing into that left side body. Let's do that one more time each side. Always coming back into center, and then taking a look, gaze over right shoulder, back to that right hip. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Releasing neutral. One more time. Other side. Sweet. Coming back. All right, now we're going to come into our down dog. So Josephine, if you have that second chair, this is when you're going to take your seat out of your chair and place your hands on the second chair. Okay. Tuck toes, lift knees up, and take ourselves back into down dog. And anyone out there is welcome to take their down dog on a chair. Okay, we'll be doing some of the things on the chair as well. And so if I'm doing down dog in a chair, I just have my hands flat on the seat of the chair, and I walk my legs back so that I feel lengthening happening back there in the back of my calves, in the back of my hamstrings there. And that's where you all are feeling it, hands on the ground or on the chair. And let's take a few breaths. Bend into the right knee, see what happens to the left back side of the left leg. Yep, feeling it there. And flip, right heel down, left knee bends. And I'm going to take my head just a little bit as well, just because it felt like it needed it. And straighten both legs, really tailbone comes back high in the balls of your feet, whether you're on the chair or hands on the ground. Knees bend, just bend into the knees, take them close to the ground or just bend a little bit wherever you are, and then straighten your legs high back into the balls of your feet and come on back, heels towards the ground. Let's repeat that. High in the balls of your feet, bend into the knees, exhale, inhale, straight legs, balls of feet, exhale back, heels towards the ground, rise up, inhale. Bend, exhale. Inhale high, balls to the feet. Exhale back. You guys got it. Keep going. Use your breath. Also, if you're using the chair, it really takes a lot of the wrist weight away. And so if you're having any type of difficulty with, having a little bit of wrist issues here in your down dog, please take it to the chair. But also, any of us that are on the ground should have more weight into the fingers and almost pulling up underneath the wrist area. Okay, 2 more times. Again, an active practice today, but only go and do what you guys want to do. All right, get some snap, crackle, pops going. And here we are. Take your feet mat distance. Okay, so we're in a wide-legged now down dog. So take your feet wider if you're using the chair as well. And continue that nice length in the spine. And then holding in the belly, take a walk up your mat and bend into your knees. Take your heels in, toes out. Same thing, you can be doing this with your hands on the chair and supported in a squat. Hands can be on the mat in a squat, kind of a malasana pose here. And then I'm going to take my hand to my thigh, left to left, right to right. Elbows are bent. Back is straight. Our hands can stay on top of the chair. Or you can sit on the chair, knees out, hips out, back flat, leaning forward, pulling on the belly, strengthening the legs here. Straighten the legs out, slowly coming up. Lifting straight, okay. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend into your elbows, shine your heart. Inhale, lift. We're going to do that again. Exhale, hands come down, back onto the thighs. Go ahead and bend into your thighs. Take your back flat. And just be here a bit, feeling that squat. Open the knees, feel that radiating back into our glutes. And then I'm going to go ahead, pressing my feet, slowly begin to lift, keeping my back flat, belly in. Go ahead and stand. Rise up, arms lift. Lengthen, exhale, bend elbows, heart rises up. Inhale, lifting. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, hands come down. Finding your thighs, bend into your knees. Take the back flat, parallel to the ground here. Push into your feet. Let's push and lengthen legs. Lift back, lift hard, arms up, lengthen sides. Pull down, open up the heart. Let's go again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands come down. Finding thighs, working our way down, or you're finding a chair. Okay, the back of the chair or the front of the chair for support. Come to that flat spine. Pull in right here. Even though we're not in a full forward fold, we want to hold in at our bellies, pushing back through the tailbone, pulling forward through the crown of our head. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. I'm talking a little bit too much because I'm trying to hold us in this space a bit. And now push through your feet slowly. Can we do it slow? Slowly lengthening our legs, slowly bringing up our body upright, lifting arms. Exhale. Bring ourselves up, inhale. And exhale, hands come down. Beautiful. You guys are already in the right position for this. I'm just going to turn towards you. You got your heels in and your toes out. And we're going to go from goddess to chair to goddess to chair to goddess to chair. Okay? Do that seated in the chair as well. And just working with your arms and push your weight into your feet. Okay? So from here, bend into your knees, arms lift. And then bring them down. Exhale. Inhale. I'm going to take my right foot towards my left, not quite meeting each one. Come into chair pose. Inhale, lift. Take my right foot back out. Exhale. Finding goddess. Inhale. Bringing left foot towards right. Come on down into chair. Push your feet, lift, inhale. Left foot comes out, changing it up just a little bit here. Exhale, taking fingertips down this time. This was a position I saw a lot in Hawaii that they had in their petroglyphs and such. Here we are. And then inhale, lift. Bring in that right foot. And this time share. Take your hands forward. Trying to mix this up a little bit too, so you kind of forget about the work that we're doing with our big muscle groups. Take your right foot out and come on down into this position for our goddess, Hawaiian goddess, maybe. And lift up. Left foot comes in and bring it on down. Exhale. Rise up. Left foot out, changing it up a bit. Squat down, right elbow under left. Come into your eagle arms. Squat down as much or little as you want or can. And then send yourself up. Release arms. Bring right foot in. Keep arms out now. Come into flying chair. Inhale, lifting, arms up, foot out. And now bend into knees, left under right this time. Other form of eagle, and really squat down just to what is right for you. Push through my feet, rise up here, and bring my left foot in. Open up my arms, come into flying chair. Inhale, rise. And exhale, just come back into a regular goddess. And let's pulse here. Pulsing in our goddess. If you're seated in the chair, just keep pressing pulses into the ground with your feet. Pulsing with my arms. Getting tired. I don't know about you guys, but that's good. That's what I kind of meant this class to be today. But you take it to what is right for you. And open up. Inhale, lengthen. Let's bring ourselves feet back in, about hips distance. In this upward salute here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands come into heart center here. Let's come and take a couple breaths here in Anjali Mudra. Just finding again synchronicity, harmony, balance with breath and heart rate. And taking my hands, I'm going to go ahead and interlace. See what thumb's on top and push away. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, push away. Keep going. Flowing through this. Push. Inhale. Really lengthen side body. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release hands, fingers fly upward and come into Triangle Mudra. Take your heart and the hips forward, elbows down. And rising up. And exhale, floating ever so gently. Hands floating down. And now, whatever you crossed this way when we were forward, we're going to cross the opposite but behind you, okay? So take that right at the base of my tailbone is kind of where my arms come down. And if I squeeze my hands together and let my arms stretch down, they come even farther down. But find what is good for you. I'm going to hold into my belly. I'm going to take my feet a little bit farther than hips distance here. Really pull back, open up my heart, bend into my knees just a little bit. And I want to scoop and come on up. And bend and scoop. Come on up. 2 more times in this direction. Bend, scooping. Come up. Bend, scoop. Come up. I'm going to do it the opposite way. Come down, scoop, and come up. Come down, scoop in, come up. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of cat-cow. One more time. And bringing it up, releasing my arms. And breathing. And then find the back of a chair. We're going to stand and we're going to work on our Garasana standing pose, okay? With our legs, standing and balancing on one foot in Garasana. And keeping our hands on the chair, maybe releasing one hand or 2 hands. Evelyn, if you know how to go for the complete Garasana and balancing work, go ahead. Having a wall behind you is also a good idea. Just remember when we're using a chair, if it's not up against a wall or something stable, be careful that and make sure you press down. Don't pull back, okay? And also having it on a non-skid surface is good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take weight into the right foot. And first, bend your knees. Let me get this together here. Bend your knees. And if you want to stay seated in the chair, just do it on the chair. And you're going to have your knees bent anyways. And then you're going to take your left foot, lift it up, cross it over your right leg. If you can, you take and you wind that ankle behind the lower ankle. And then I can lower down a little bit more, trying to get my knees facing forward, okay? So whether I'm crossed one time or double crossed, trying to get my hips and my knees forward, okay? And with that chair, I'm able to maybe lower a little bit more. I'm going to feel that, maybe squeeze and leg to leg there. Maybe I can take one hand and release it, or both hands. Work to release. We haven't gone into the arms, and we probably won't here because I really want you to feel that balance and that strengthening of that standing leg. But if you are wanting to go for that, you can. Or you just want to take hands one at a time to your chest area, lowering maybe a little bit more. As you lower, pull back your spine so it's more perpendicular to the ground. So that means you might not lower as much, okay? So that's what's really good with the chair, to work on that, okay? And we'll hold it here for a couple more breaths. And, oh yeah, release. Top leg off and walk that out. Do you feel the warmth moving through your legs? I do. And you know, this is really good because I can do Gardasana on my arms and my legs, but this helps me to see what it feels like to be lower in it and to find that balance in a lower position, okay? So I'm gonna now, in between, let's just go up and down on the balls of our feet. And again, if you want to do that, holding onto the chair or maybe hands here at heart. And I know Lydia's out there too. And Lydia, you've had some practice doing Gardasana, arms and legs. So again, wherever you are, whoever you are, take it to your personal place, okay? I want you guys to stay within yourselves when it comes to your practice, okay? Making your own. And hands down. That means we make modifications, steps back a bit, or we make amplifications when and if we're ready. Okay, this time I'm going to take weight into my left foot, bend into my knees first, take my spine back, weight into my left, I'm going to cross my right leg over my left, maybe take that wrap around the back side, try to get my knees to come forward. That's the other thing about this chair that really helps for, you know, really fine-tuning the pose, because generally my knees are going to be like this when I do Gardasana, but ideally they're supposed to be forward. My hips are supposed to be forward. And here I can practice lowering a little bit more and trying to maintain those knees and hips forward. Maybe working and seeing where my balance is. Right here on that foot. Squeeze into your legs if you want a little more oomph there. Pulsing if you'd like. Just adding those amplifications if this is too easy for you. Lowering a little bit more. Taking that upper spine back. These are Gardasana legs here. Eagle legs. Squeezing. You're seated in the chair there. Just squeeze your legs together. Press down with the foot that's grounded. And then let's go ahead and lengthen our legs. Release the top leg off. And let's begin to just take our feet, lift them up, toes pointed. Got my hand on the chair. Maybe you have your hands lifted up. We're all working at different places in our balance, but don't let anybody fool you that says, as we age, you know, our balance goes to hell, because it doesn't have to. We just have to keep practicing. If you don't practice something, we lose that. You know, like even riding a bike. They say you can always get on a bike and ride it. Generally true. That is, we might just be a little more wobbly if we haven't been on a bike for a while. But balance is up to us. It's up to us and our own mental and physical and emotional aspects. Okay? And then let's just walk our feet out here. Good. And come to our feet at hips distance, standing with a nice straight spine. Take a couple breaths, or 3 or 4. Now we're going to practice what a half lift looks like. So I'm going to press my hands straight down on that chair. I'm going to walk my feet back and move a little bit so you can see me better. And I'm going to walk my feet back. I'm going to let my Length of my arms extend. Let my ears come in between my biceps, okay? So I've got a really, really long spine. And I know you guys can't see all of that. That's what you want to feel. You want to feel that your head's not being released chin to chest. It's not looking upwards, it's looking straight down. You feel your belly pull in. You feel length in the backside of your legs. You feel length in the whole spine. And you breathe. So when you're doing like a vinyasa flow, or you come from a forward fold into half lift, this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to be back parallel to the ground, belly nice and strong. So the best way to do this, if you're coming from forward fold, is to utilize your shins. So if I would release here into my shins, just don't want to do that into your knees, okay? Some people have long enough arms that they can do it. I don't even, I have to come so that my back is no longer parallel to the ground. Blocks are wonderful for getting you into that nice half lift, okay? But I like the chair even better. Go ahead and walk yourself in. And we're going to do a couple hard openings here. We're going to do standing Ustrasana, standing camel pose. So take your hands right here onto the base of your spine. We did this yesterday in the chair pose. And I think this is part of what really worked some of my upper body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze my shoulders together. I'm going to press with my hands firmly, right, onto where they're connected to my upper back hips. Pulling shoulders together, elbows together. Nice straight spine to begin with. And then I'm going to begin to take my weight of my belly forward. Let my heart lift up. Let my gaze lift up. Maybe releasing a little more into the neck, but please gauge that for yourself. You may want to just hold into those neck muscles and not let your chin go too far towards the ceiling. So find where that is for you. Really open-hearted here. Really unzipped that whole emotional sense of self that we hold on and cling to so much in some of our organs that are in the front of our body, our throat and our heart, our bellies. And then pressing firmly down on our hips, lifting with a nice straight spine. Up. Oh, release, hands down. Good, and you could have done that right in the chair as well, like we did yesterday. We're going to go ahead and turn towards me. One hand, has to be my right hand, is next to, it's on top of the chair next to me. I'm going to open up my legs. And I have my toes towards you. And I'm going to take my right foot towards the chair. And my left foot is going to stay parallel to my short side of my mat here. And you can use the chair or not, but we're going to bend into that front knee. And we're going to take some circles here. So bend and circle. 4 times forward. And then we'll go 4 times back. So you can be doing this without the chair and just having that arm straight forward. Okay? But the chair makes it nice also just for balancing here. Maybe being able to get a little more depth into that front knee. If you want to just stay seated in the chair, just do your arm circles into the side of the chair with one leg, right? Like we do when we work in a warrior 2. Releasing arms, coming into that warrior 2. Opening up hands, taking a look here. And wrap hand down or around, reach up. Exhale, come back. Inhale, lift. Exalted warrior. Exhale down. Straighten your leg. Feet come forward. Arms come up. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Let's do the other side before we close class today. I'm going to move the chair. And the other way, if you guys just want to turn around, that's fine, but I don't want to have my back towards you. So I'm going to take and spread my feet out wide. Toes towards me, mine towards you to begin with. Keeping my right foot now, that's my right foot, the one away from the chair, so that it parallels the edge of my short mat edge. Other toes come in towards underneath that chair there, bending into that front knee. The chair also helps me to find good alignment because I can not worry about my arms so much as just say, okay, let me check this out. Knee and ankle, yes, they're good and they're nicely aligned. And 4 times. I can't remember the last time. Did we move that front leg? And let's reverse. I think we'll do that in just a second. And then inhale. And exhale. And just take that front knee and straighten it and lengthen and bend. I think we did this before. We did it in some form, way, shape, or form. And then taking it into bent and taking right arm down. Lift the left one up. And then coming back. Bringing that arm back, but you can keep it on the chair. That helps with balance. And one more. Nice. Here into warrior 2. Hand to the chair. Straight leg. Toes forward. Let's walk those toes in. Let's find yourself in seated or standing mountain pose. You're just taking with your last few breaths in class, not last few breaths ever. And just a little bit of movement that might feel right for you. A little bend in the knees, maybe. A little swing. So hands to heart center here. I guess I didn't forewarn you that today's class would be a little more active. I kind of snuck that in during class, but I hope that you took it to the level where you are personally working at, okay? Whether in the chair, out of the chair, sometimes on the chair, sometimes standing, wherever you are, always make this your personal practice. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for being here today. And from my heart to yours.